Welcome back, Duelists. Casual Duelist here. I've got the Slifer deck. I should say I've got a Slifer deck. You see, the wife, Celestial Duelist, decided to challenge me. She said, this is your last God card deck, and you're getting pretty close to 100 videos if you haven't already passed it. And I was like, ooh, I should have checked that before I even started taping this. But hey, here I am. I'll check it later, and we'll see what happened. So I'm going to bring you guys a casual Slifer deck that's based off of a very inconsistent loop that's just fun to play. Because when it goes off, it goes off. And then I'll just build you guys the competitive one. I'll bring that to you guys tomorrow. So you guys can have 3 consecutive days of Slifer the Sky Dragon this week. So 2 weeks ago, before I get into this, I did ask one other question. And it had to do with my boy Obelisk. And that was, guys, is he immune to skill cards targeting him? And I'll tell you what, somebody rose to the challenge, did the research for me, found the ruling. That is username Pith's Attic. And thank you so very much. What we found out is, in fact, skill cards are more or less an additive to the game as far as a rule. So whenever you see these are more or less rules for the game, as opposed to being considered a physical card for effect purposes. And due to this, yes, you can in fact take your opponent's Obelisk the Tormentor using Inner Conflict and then beat them upside the head with it. Again, Pith's Attic, thank you very much for doing the research for me. Thank you for joining the conversation down in the comments section. And hopefully you enjoyed your shout out. Now, let's get to the casual Slifer deck. Now, both Slifer decks, I'm going to use the same skill. So we are still only going to need Fury of Thunder. In the casual version, we are going to use 3 copies of Clown Zombie, 3 copies of Dragon Zombie, 3 copies of Shadow Spectre, and 2 copies of my boy Slifer the Sky Dragon. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. He's using it today. You're right. So let's go over to the spells and I'll show you what's up. We're going to round this out by using 3 Allures of Darkness, 3 Amulets of Ambition, because, guys, do you remember when I made it so that Petite Moth, a very basic level 1 insect, could walk up and sucker punch every all-star in the game? Well, Shadow Spectre is going to do the same move this week. So, very fantastic. And then there's our key card for the whole deck. It's the Enchanting Fitting Room. So, this is the key card. This is the strategy. And yes, we did try some test hands at 21 cards to maximize out Slifer. It does not work as well as you would think. You want the deck as small as possible. You want your searches as thorough as possible. So, if you guys were just here for the list, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all the comments, any of the thumbs up that we've been getting. That's all great. Everybody's continuing to subscribe, which is amazing. That means so much to the channel. And if this helps you, maybe consider subscribing if you haven't already. Tell some friends. But most importantly, you have a great day. Now, for everybody else, let me discuss the card Fury of Thunder. Because I like to start with the skill cards, guys, because it's kind of what we build the decks around. It's usually not the other way around. So, Fury of Thunder, activate the following skills. During the main phase while you control Slifer the Sky Dragon, draw until you have 4 cards in your hand, which is an amazing autocorrect for using a god card that bases his power off of how many cards you have in your hand. And secondly, if it is in your graveyard, if it is sent to the graveyard, you may shuffle it back into the deck. You may use each of these effects once per duel. So it's not terrible, but it really could have been better if they would have just let us tutor Slifer the way that we were able to drop the entire hand for raw, or selectively drop 1x for Obelisk. But still, we're going to make this card work, and we're going to make this work better tomorrow. So real quick, we're just using some level 3 and lower normal monsters, because I want, level 3 or normal dark monsters because I want to be able to use the Enchanted Fitting Room, the Amulet of Ambition, and Allure of Darkness. So I needed to hit all 3 criteria, and as much as I wanted to put Soggy the Dark Clown in here, he just doesn't have enough power because of his higher level. Obviously, I need a lower level with a superior attack for the amulet to work properly. So, Clown Zombie at his 1350 is actually one of the apex predators of this deck once equipped. Dragon Zombie has just a lot of strength. Again, it's a 3-star at 16, so that's fantastic. And the Shadow Spectre is almost mimicking the Petite Moth from the last time with its 500 attack level 1. So between the Shadow Spectre, like honestly, Dragon Zombie is either going to be used as a tribute because you put him on the field with Fitting Room, or you're going to use him as your lure target. You really want to focus on using the Clown Zombies and the Shadow Spectres with this. And it's just because they have fantastic attacks for the level. And I never thought I'd be talking about Shadow Spectre in a positive way, but here we are. Also, looks great. Looks like it could be an American traditional tattoo. My wife, she's been watching Ink Master again lately, and she saw this card and she's like, "Ooh, that'd be cool." So yeah, that would be cool. And then there's our big boss, Slifer the Sky Dragon. So let's get the effects out of the way. This does require 3 tributes for the normal summon. May not be normal set. The normal summon cannot be negated. And when normal summoned, cards and effects cannot be activated in response. Once per turn during the end phase, if this card was special summoned, immediately send this card to the graveyard, which is really probably the reason for the Fury of Thunder. Is if you special summon it, it'll go away. We just want to put it back in the deck. More or less a main game effect. Not really that usable here. Anyway, gains 1,000 attack and defense for every card in your hand. And if a monsters is normal or special summoned to the opponent's side of the field in attack position, that monsters will lose 2,000 attack. Then if it was reduced to 0 as a result, destroy it. That is the legendary second mouth attack of Slifer, which allows him to essentially dominate by destroying opponents' plays in loops by never really letting them ever get a foothold on the field. Now, this is Speed Duel. Book of Moon will stop him. Because unlike Obelisk, he can be targeted. So that's a thing, guys. Be aware of it. And with Book of Moon's relevance to the game right now, Slifer deck is mostly casual until tomorrow. And you'll see why. Going over to the spells, again, the Allure, we want to be able to draw 2 cards, banish a dark, and then if we fail to do that, our hand goes away. At which point, again, if the Slifer would get sent to the graveyard, Fury of Thunder could and should pull that back into our deck. Of course, you also run the risk of dead drawing afterward by drawing the Obelisk if you had to, by drawing the Slifer. How many times have I said Obelisk? I don't even know. Sorry about that. I'm looking at him on the playmat. He looks good. He looks better through the camera lens than he does in person. This is a little faded, to be honest. Back to the deck. The Amulet of Ambition, this equipped card, may only equip to normal monsters. And if that monster would battle a monster of a higher level, which should always happen. I mean, how many of you guys are actually fighting with 1 stars and 2 stars out there? For the most part, I'm going to be facing 4 and higher. So my character will gain 500 attack per star level difference. So again, a god card is 10 stars. 10 to a 2 is a difference of 8, which will grant me 4k power, which means the Clown Zombie is 5,350 power. And in the same matchup, again, it would be 9-point difference, 45. Shadow Spectre would be 5,000 against that same god card. And again, it just trickles around, plays around. If you got 8 stars, I'm still going to beat you. That is the real benefit of the Amulet of Ambition. However, when this card is sent to the graveyard, you can place it on the top of the deck. It is not a hard you must. It is a you may. So keep that in mind. Sometimes that is actually going to come into effect. Last card, kind of the backbone of the build. the Enchanted Fitting Room, pay 800 life points, excavate the top 4 cards of our deck, special summon all excavated level 3 or lower normal monsters, and after that, shuffle the remaining cards back into our deck. Now, as fantastic as that sounds, I'm going to show you guys a couple test hands and show you that sometimes the consistency just isn't there. This was something I was more or less just challenged to throw this out there. She said, like I said, the wife said, like, come on, give them more Slifers, okay? More people are coming to the channel nowadays. I know that you want to stick to like 4 videos a week. Give them 5 this week. I said, all right, you got it. So she helped me design this. She's actually the one who chose the Shadow Spectre because she loves it. But let's see how we do. All right, that should be good. So we found that this is better going second. So here we go. We got 2 dragon zombies and a clown zombie with 1 copy allure. If we went second, we have another clown zombie, which means when we activate allure, we're going to go ahead, draw 2. We grab our Slifer and our Fitting Room. We're going to go ahead and bob the dragon zombie to the banish pile. We are going to pay our 800 to excavate the next 4 of our deck. We got Shadow Spectre, Fitting Room, Ambition, Clown Zombie. Unfortunately, we're not going to get it this time around, as we're going to have to shuffle in the remaining non-summonables. We could throw these in defense, try again next round, throw another monster in defense. Unfortunately, some decks will produce more than 1 monster in a turn, and we don't have our amulet to protect them. So while we could essentially board 3 characters all in defense, we chose to play weaker ones. We did get an amulet the next turn, so we would be able to set up a clown zombie and start swinging back. And then once we have enough advantage, we could in fact play that Slifer, hit the Fury of Thunder, go ahead, recharge the hand, get that Slifer up to 4K, and do it that way. Let's get us 1 more quick little test hand since we've only been here. Looks like 12 and a half minutes. Let's see what we can't do. All right. So, got Slifer right off the rip. We got a Shadow Spectre, the Fitting Room, and a Zombie. If we're going second, we're also going to grab our Allure. Big choices here. So, if we want to run the numbers, we have 15 cards left in our deck. We've got 4 cards sitting here. We had 9 normal monsters. So digging the 4 is probably our best bet real quick. So let's go ahead. We'll do the Enchanted Fitting Room. Excavate top 4. There's 2 of ours. We can shuffle the other 2 cards back for our excavation. Which is fine. We would probably summon the Spectre. It doesn't matter. If we're going to go down, we're going to go down. We're going to go down swinging. Let's go with our Allure now. Draw 2. Banish out that zombie because, again, pay another 800 for another Fitting Room. Going to dig 4. We did find a Clown Zombie. The rest wouldn't matter anyway because we only have the 3 monster zones. And this is, in fact, going to allow us to start with Slifer the Sky Dragon. And this is why we built this deck. Again, sometimes it just works out faster. Sometimes it doesn't. Go ahead, perform your triple sacrifice, call your big boy down, hit your Fury of Thunder skill cards. You've got 2 left in your hand, so you're free to pick up another 2. That means our boy now has 4K attack strength. We still have the ability to draw into... doesn't matter about the other Fitting Room. The Allures are okay. We're definitely going to have fodder for that. But we do want to see maybe about getting another amulet. That'll allow us to put Clown Zombie into the fight. If not, we will summon the Dragon Zombie next turn anyway, because it is the more aggressive, like I said earlier. And this is the casual Speed Duel Slifer the Sky Dragon, Fury of Thunder build. Tomorrow, I will bring you guys a competitive one. One last time, I'd like to give a shout out to Pith's Attic. for giving us that comment on that obelisk and letting us know that the skill cards are not, in fact, considered card effects for the traditional sense of the abilities in game, that they are more or less treated as rule modifiers. So thank you guys. I hope this has helped. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you guys with the next deck tomorrow. And then, of course, we are going to have the Masterclass Slifer deck, this Thursday? So that's not tomorrow, day after. And then we'll be back on Saturday with a Magistus build for you guys. So enjoy that, and have a great day.